Yes, good evening, everyone, and welcome to EK Podcast Show. Today, I will be presenting to you a topic on medication and how you should take your medication. A couple of days, I was invited to a conference to present on this topic, and many people have reached out to me and said, why don't you post the version of the presentation on your YouTube channel so that people can listen to it? They find it very interesting. And I just decided to do a summary of it now in my studio. Okay, then going back to this topic, reason to take medication as directed and compliances. This is an important topic that sometimes it is always overlooked, and people don't pay so much attention to it when you go to pharmacy to fill your prescription. They normally say, take 2p in the morning and 2 in the evening. Sometimes people get home and say, I'm seriously sick, let me have 4 now. They take more than what they direct them to do. And sometimes people take, due to negligence, they don't take it as required. They take it then in the evening, or they forget, then they take it at their own time interval. Today I will be giving reason why you must take them, as it is clearly stated. It is a must that you must take it that way. And before I go into that, I would like to define some keywords here so that we'll better make up understand what we are discussing here. The first thing will be the half-life. Every medication has its half-life. That half-life could be 2 hours, 4 hours, sometimes even days. And the half-life of every medication is defined as the time that you require for that medication to reduce to half of its original amount or its original concentration. That means if you take a medication that is 20 milligrams, the time that it will require for that medication to reduce from 20 to 10 is known as the half-life. Then there's what we also call therapeutic window, which is the range of the concentration that the drug must attain in order to have a therapeutic effect, or in order to do the job that is required to do. When you take a medication, it has to get into a certain concentration. It has to get to a certain range before it can actually work. Once it is not within that range, it cannot work effectively. If it is above that range, it becomes toxic. If it is below that range, it is subtherapeutic. It cannot work effectively. So that being said, whenever you take in any medication, I'm talking about oral, the one that you take by mouth, not injection. When you take in any medication by mouth, it passes through absorption. It has to go through absorption, metabolism, then it finally gets eliminated. Throughout this process, it's performing the effect, what it intend to do. As it passes through absorption, it gets metabolized, it gets interact with the receptors in the cell, then it finally gets rid of, either in the kidney or in the feces. Let me take a hypothetical example. Say you take a tablet that is 20 milligrams, and that tablet and that medication has a therapeutic window of 8 to 15 milligrams. You have a tablet that is 20 milligrams. The therapeutic window, they have studied it, and they find out that the therapeutic window is 8 to 15, and the half-life is 4 hours. You go to the pharmacy and they tell you, okay, take this medication every 8 hours. So now you start at 8 a.m. in the morning, you take this medication. You take the 20 milligram pill. You get into your system, it is being absorbed, you get to a concentration, you start doing your work, then after that it begins to get eliminated. If you take it at 8 a.m. in the morning, by 12 midday, that 20 milligram must have reduced by half of its original amount. That means 20 has been reduced by 50%. So by 12 midday, you will only have 10 milligrams left in your system. So when you take the medication at 8 a.m. in the morning, by 12 noon, and after 4 hours, the medication will reduce to half of the original amount. Mindful that in order for the medication to work, it has to be within 8 to 15. So when you take it, it was working effectively until by midday it has reduced to 10. So it's still within 8 and 15. So it's still working. There's no problem at this point. When 12 midday pass, it goes to 1 p.m., 2 p.m., up to 4 p.m. in the evening or in the late afternoon. The medication now has reduced to half again. That means it has reduced from 10 to 5. At this point, at 4 p.m., you only have 5 milligram concentration, concentration in your system. So the 5 now is subtherapeutic, it's below 8. So that drug can no longer work. So you have to take another dose to boost it, to bump it up, so that it will continue to work effectively the way it is designed to work. Say for some reason you forget, or you went to work, you didn't carry your medication with you, you have to close at 8 p.m. You forget to take your medication with you. Then by the time you reach home at 8 p.m., you are already at the third half-life. That drug has reduced to 2.5. Let me break it down again for those that were not following. So you start at 8 a.m. in the morning, it goes to 12 at noon, that is the first half-life after 4 hours. It dropped from 20 to 10. From 12 to 4 p.m., it dropped from 10 to 5. From 4 to 8 p.m., it dropped from 5 to 2.5. 2.5 at this point, at 8 p.m., the concentration is too small that it will not be effective. It cannot longer work or do whatever it is designed to do. Then at that time, if we're in case of antibiotics, then the bacteria that we're supposed to fight, they will regroup themselves and become so powerful that is already leading towards resistance. Then by the time you take another one, the bacteria has already prepared itself to fight back. And at that point, the medication may not work again because of that time lapse. The 4 hours that you didn't take it, you give room for the bacteria to prepare themselves and to fight back. And they'll fight back very forcefully. Okay, that is non-compliant. Another case scenario, somebody who got home, take the pill and say, oh, they said I should take 1. These are very tiny pills. Let me take 3, 4, so that I will get better soon. You are taking now, you take 2 tablets, that is 40. You drink 40. That is way above the 15 maximum level that you were supposed to, that your system actually requires. So after 4 hours, it already dropped to 20. It's still toxic. So then, by the time you get to 4 p.m., that is when it actually dropped to 10, when it can actually begin, where it feel that, okay, now the system can stand it. Then what is happening to your kidney? The kidney and the liver is the one metabolizing the drug. With so much drug, that kind of high concentration, the liver becomes toxic, and there are many diseases that are caused by the drug, that are drug induced. So I will not go into that for now. But when you take too much, your liver becomes toxic because it's hard for the liver to metabolize the enzyme present in the liver. There's so much drug for the liver to handle. The same with the kidney to eliminate it. Say for example, if it was a medication like warfarin, which is a blood thinner, an anticoagulant, that have a very narrow therapeutic window. The example I cited was a therapeutic window of 8 to 15. But a drug like warfarin or Coumadin has a very narrow therapeutic window, in such a way that the slight overdose that you take can be can have very serious adverse effect, or even when you take below the dose that is required, also have very serious effect. Warfarin is an anticoagulant which is used to prevent clot in your blood, especially for people that have had a heart attack or heart failure or stroke, because the stroke is due as a result of blood clotting in your arteries. Oxygen can no longer reach the organ, then it comes to arrest. Now, this medication causes the blood to be thin so that it can easily circulate without clotting itself within the artery. But if you take too much, it means that this medication will become so thin, so light, that will just be circulating. Then when you have a cut, it will not even be able to clot by itself, because all the clotting factors are being inhibited by warfarin. If you have an accident, you hit your head somewhere, you have a fall, you can have internal bleeding from trauma, head injury. So you may have internal bleeding in your brain that you may not even realize, and before you are ever taken to a hospital to do a head scan to find out that where you are bleeding, you may have died. So that is a very serious adverse effect when you take more than the required dose. What happens if you don't take enough? Stay on the example of warfarin. If you take below the therapeutic window, then you give the blood the chance to clot. Clotting is not a good thing if you have previous stroke, or if you are a heart patient, a heart failure patient. Then you are giving room for this blood to go and clot and block the arteries that lead to your brain, so you don't have oxygen in your brain. Then another stroke occur, and we know stroke patients do not last for long if the condition is not reversed. If you are in a remote area where you don't have access to emergency room or to quickly intervene, then that may lead to death. So taking your medication as it is prescribed is very, very important. You cannot take below, you cannot take too much. You just need to take it the way it is designed. I hope I've explained this a little bit clear to everyone. So like I said, if you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do, so that anytime we post our video, our audio, you will be the first to listen to it. I thank all of you for listening and for subscribing to my video. Again, this is NS EK Podcast Show. Thank you and have a good day.